In the beginning of the story, we see Lily and her boyfriend who had come to camp in the jungle. He notices a sign that says 1 mile, so he assumes this is the path to follow, and they begin moving along it. However, this was not the direction they were meant to take. They needed to go somewhere else, though at that moment, they were unaware of it. After finding a nice spot, the two begin to enjoy a romantic moment. But suddenly some people arrive. They are carrying weapons. Two of them come from behind and grab Lily. When her boyfriend rushes to help her, a man strikes her legs with a crossbow, making her fall to the ground hurt. After this, they kill her and lift Lily, taking her away with them. Then the scene changes, showing a girl named Alex, who is playing a football match with her friends. Here we are introduced to Alex's father, Danny, and her mother, Jenny. To begin with, Danny is a soldier who has recently retired and returned home. When he tells Jenny about his retirement, she feels overjoyed, as he has been away from his family for the last 10 years. He hasn't received the affection of either his wife or his daughter. Because of his long absence, his daughter still feels upset with him. From her behavior, it's clear that Alex is somewhat unhappy with her father. At this point, Alex had finished her school studies, which meant it was time for her to join college. That's why she was going to enroll in a well-known college with her father. The college was located quite a distance from their home. It would take nearly a day to reach the college, so Danny stops to fill the car's fuel tank along the way. Alex knew that her father was carrying a gun, and she didn't want him to be around people while armed. That's why Alex asks her father to keep his gun in the car's locker. Danny didn't really want to do it, since he knew he might need it at any moment. But because Alex kept insisting, he finally agreed. As I mentioned, it would take a full day to reach their destination. That's why they reserve a room before evening, since driving at night wasn't safe. The positive part of stopping was that it gave a chance for the father and daughter to start talking. This also meant the car was gradually moving along the path. Now, friends, the story shows some people gathered at a certain spot. The next day, the father and daughter were getting ready to leave for college once again. Here, Alex tells her father, "You must be getting late because of me. You should also go to your work." Alex kept saying this to him, again and again, because of the same work. He had been away from his daughter for many years. But today, when he tells Alex that he has retired, she feels very happy. She is glad that her father will no longer have to leave her, that he will stay with his father and mother. Anyway, after this, the two of them continue their journey ahead. On the way, Alex tries to call her mother, but since it was a forest area, the call doesn't go through. It was almost evening after driving the car the whole day. That's why the two decided to camp in this forest. With this plan, they would get some time to be together. They noticed the same 1 mile sign along the way. Following this road, they arrive at the same spot where we first saw the boy and girl at the start. The place looked really nice, so the two of them decide to set up camp there. After that, the two sit down at the campsite and begin talking. Alex shows her father some of her artwork and tells him that she enjoys painting. She explains that she wants to become an artist, not a football player. Danny says it's all right. There's a future in this too, and you can achieve it. After that, the two of them go together to gather firewood in the forest. They needed to prepare for the night since it was quite cold there. But then, suddenly, they hear a sound coming from the forest. Danny, being a soldier, quickly realizes that someone is sitting in front of them. He also says that they shouldn't make any noise. If you want, we can move ahead from here. But suddenly, 2 to 4 people emerge from the forest and start following them. Meanwhile, another man takes Danny's car and drives away. A few people suddenly approach from behind and grab Alex. But Danny quickly defeats all of them and escapes into the forest with his daughter. Now his men begin searching for them throughout the forest. They both quickly move and hide beneath a tree. Alex starts to feel a bit guilty, thinking that if she hadn't refused earlier, Danny would have had a gun, and with that weapon, he could have easily dealt with those attackers. Still, Danny tells her that everything is fine and they will find a way out without much trouble. As the two continue moving deeper through the forest, they eventually come across a railway track ahead. In truth, neither of them had any idea which direction they should go. Still, Danny decides to pick a path and takes his daughter along as they move forward. After walking a little further, they notice an RV van standing in the forest. Danny says that if they check inside the RV van, they might possibly find a radio. But Alex refuses and says that this might be a trap. For once, Danny listens to her, and the two of them sit in the forest, watching the RV van for a long time. When they don't see anyone around for a while, they realize that no one comes. There as soon as the two of them move closer to the RV van and open its gate, a dog suddenly begins barking at them. Out of nowhere, a man rushes in and attacks Danny, but he quickly handles him. Right after taking him down, another man abruptly appears and launches an attack on him, but Danny quickly overpowers all of them without much trouble. Meanwhile, one man suddenly grabs Alex and takes him away. On his own, Danny manages to injure everyone. Then he goes after the man who had grabbed Alex and attacks him. Just then, another man arrives and strikes at Danny. In the middle of the fight, Danny manages to finish what he needed to do. Danny breaks free from his grip, and just then the RV van rushes in and slams him against the tree. After that, he quickly escapes with his daughter. Angus then learns that one of his men has been killed. His men tell him to leave, but Angus refuses and says that no, they will not go until they catch him. He says that one of their men has been killed. He then tells them to pass this message to Stanley. By the way, Stanley is their boss. After this, we see Danny and Alex, who had escaped from there and traveled a long distance. Before nightfall, they had found a place to stay. They decided to spend the night beneath that rock. In any case, this spot felt safer than roaming through the jungle after dark. There was a bit of food in the bag. They ate it and satisfied their hunger. Alex also asks who these people are and why they are after them. Danny says that he himself does not know who these people are or why they are chasing him. But Alex says that they were trying to take him away, though she does not know the reason why. The next morning, he wakes up to the sound of a voice. After this, when Alex falls asleep, she sees the same people who had been chasing him. While Danny is standing there alone, a man suddenly attacks him from behind. After this, a fight starts between the two of them. The man had a knife, and he kept attacking Danny again and again. But in the end, Danny drives his own knife into him. Alex was secretly watching them, but they notice her and start chasing her. Luckily, before they arrived, she had already crossed the river with her dad and gone that way. They begin to run, while the goons chase them from behind. There comes a moment when they have no place left to run. A river stands ahead of them, leaving no choice but to jump in. Danny dives into the river with Alex. On top of that, those people were being targeted by a crossbow. After reaching the shore, as the two were about to leave, a man appears in front of them and grabs Alex. Here we are introduced to Stanley, the leader of them all. That he had a gun in his hand, so Danny could not do anything. After this, Danny is attacked and gets injured. After hurting him, a man lifts him up and throws him into the river. After this, these people capture Alex and take him away with them. All of them believe that Danny was dead, but he was still breathing. They did not kill Danny. They only struck his head. That's why he loses consciousness, and his eyes open at just the right time. With the help of footprints, he figures out which direction they went with Alex. On the other side, Alex is shown locked inside a room. After a while, Lily brings him breakfast. In reality, she is being held captive by these people. At that time, she was also pregnant. She tells Alex that she too was brought here, against her will. If you live here quietly, they will start treating you like one of their own. And anyway, there is no escape from this place. Stay quiet. Hear them out, and have your breakfast. But then Alex throws the cup. Hearing the sound of the drink, Stanley arrives. Someone tells Alex that this is now his home, and he must accept it. He cannot escape from here or go anywhere. But as soon as Stanley loses focus, she attacks him, and quickly comes out and runs towards the forest. The surprising thing was that Stanley did not send his men to catch him, because this was the end of the place. There was no way ahead. The place where these people were living is an island, hidden somewhere in the sea. Stanley tells him that they are his family. You cannot escape from this place and leave, and no one can come here to rescue you. So stop struggling and listen to me quietly. After this, Stanley's men take him along with them. The scene then shifts, and we see Danny, who arrives at an old cabin. In this cabin, Stanley's men were present, and he attacks them. There were also a few other people inside who were partying, but Danny quietly moves in and takes them all down. He takes them all down and binds them together in one spot with ropes. After that, he demands to know where his daughter is. Give me my daughter, and I'll leave without causing any more trouble. He says, but no one was willing to say anything. After that, Danny chooses a different method. He cuts off one person's finger. Another person's EAR.SO he drives the blade into a man's throat and ends his life. Everyone becomes terrified. Seeing this, Stanley's son finally prepares to speak up. Stanley's son's name was Jimmy. He was among them, but Danny didn't recognize him. He prepares to reveal the truth to Danny in order to save his people. He tells Danny that his father has taken his daughter to the island. That island is quite far from here, and their entire family lives there. Our women could not give birth due to the pollution in the water, and the ones who did give birth, their babies were dead. That is why we abduct girls from other countries and force them to give birth. After hearing all this, Danny becomes furious. He tells Jimmy that if anything happens to his daughter, he will kill him, and their island will also be destroyed. After this, he contacts Stanley over the radio. He tells Stanley that he wants his daughter back. In exchange, he will return his man and his son. If anything happens to my daughter, then your son is gone. For now, Danny speaks to his daughter. Stanley says that he is coming with his daughter, but nothing should happen to my son. The deal is set between the two. But before they arrive, Danny moves around the room and makes all his preparations. First of all, he turns on the gas and leaves it. Then he notices another room. He also sets up preparations at the door of that room. After reaching the shore, it is revealed that Stanley is not alone. In fact, he has brought one of his men with him. While Danny had told him that he came alone, after reaching halfway, Stanley hides all his men. After that, he alone covers Alex's face with a bandage and takes him inside. There he sees that Danny is holding a knife to his son's neck. Danny tells him that he has turned on the gas. He warns that if anyone fires, even by mistake, the room will explode and everyone will die. After this, they proceed to exchange their children. As soon as Danny removes the bandage from Alex's face, she tells him that Stanley has arrived with his men. Meanwhile, Stanley suddenly attacks Danny with a knife. Danny tries to stop him, but in the middle of the chaos, he suddenly drives a knife into Stanley's son. The attack is fatal, and he collapses instantly, losing his life on the spot. After this, as soon as Danny shoves Stanley, several of his men rush inside. Before he can strike Danny, he grabs his daughter and moves into a room. The moment he shuts the door behind him, a matchstick ignites. All of this had been arranged in advance. The gas had already filled the room. The moment a flame is sparked, a massive explosion occurs. Due to the blast, all of Stanley's men inside the cabin were killed. Luckily, Danny had already taken his daughter and secured her in a room. That is why he survives. When he takes his daughter away from there, we come to know that Stanley is still alive. After this, we are shown the moment when Alex had enrolled in his art college.